Just as we had a test based on the graphs for whether a relation was a function, we also have a test based on the graphs for whether a relation is one-to-one. Remember that on a graph, all of the points that have the same y-coordinate lie on the same horizontal line. And so, to determine whether or not we're looking at a one-to-one relation, we can look at what's called the horizontal line test. Remember, for functions, we used the vertical line test because vertical lines have all the points with the same x-coordinate. For one-to-oneness, we look at horizontal lines, which have all of the points with the same y-coordinate. If we can find a horizontal line that crosses the graph more than once, then that graph does not represent a one-to-one relation. If we can't find such a horizontal line, then we do have a one-to-one relation. So let's see some examples of this test in action. Each of these graphs represents a relation, and we want to decide whether or not that relation is one-to-one. So to do that, we'll look at a bunch of horizontal lines and see, can we find any that cross the graph more than once? And in this first example, no line we draw will cross this graph more than once. And so this relation is one-to-one. And again, in the second example, looking at various horizontal lines, it looks like we're not going to be able to find any of those either that cross this graph more than once. And so this relation, again, is one-to-one. However, let's look at these next two examples. Remember, to rule out our relation being one-to-one, we only need to find one horizontal line that crosses it twice or more. So this horizontal line crosses this graph at this point and this point. And so we see that this relation is not one-to-one. Similarly, looking at the last graph, we see that, for example, this horizontal line crosses the graph 3 times. And so this relation is also not one-to-one. So, like the vertical line test to check for a function, we can use the horizontal line test to test whether a relation is one-to-one.